important circus. But the thing that,
dude, that's a great statement. Some of these things are circuses, but it's a really important circus. When you talk about like podcasting or some of these types of interviews, it's like,
well, he's had a ton of things. He had Wesley Clark debate Scott Horton. He had Norman Finkelstein debated Benny Morris. Like these like huge, very interesting debates with really brilliant people, you know, and like, and but anyway, so when Nick was on, it was almost like there was the conversation that was going on. They're both speaking past each other completely. It's almost like Piers does not understand the phenomenon that this kid is. But to me, the more meta, like kind of analysis of it, like what was going on there is that what I think what Nick represents in a lot of ways is, okay, there's been now in the country for at least 30 years, maybe a little more than that, really exploded in the last 15 years. There's been this attempt by every single institutional force to police what Americans are allowed to say by shaming people as racist, sexist, anti-Semitic, all these isms. And look, you know, because the funny thing about someone like Nick is people will make the point, they'll be like, well, look, you could criticize Israel without criticizing the Jews. And you're like, yeah, hey, I do that every day. And you know what I get called for it by Mark Levin? A Nazi. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. So what Nick, in a way, to me at least, represents is a big fuck you to that whole game. I reject that whole paradigm. If you're not going to police me by calling me sexist, racist, or anti-Semitic, because I say I am all those things. Right. So now what?
Now what do you do?
So if you come at Nick the way Piers did, where you go, let me play a clip of you. That's horrible what you said right there. I think you're a bigot. And he'll go, yeah, fuck you. I am. Whereas when I talk to Nick and I go, all right, dude, listen, I think shutting conversation down with accusation of bigotry is fucked up. But what do you actually believe here? He actually opens up and gives you a much more nuanced take. And like, no, is he a few clicks to the right of me? Definitely.
And he's a sensationalist though too.
Sure. And there's a lot of sarcasm and all of that.
If I could see him being a conductor, or I could see him being the guy at the circus who's like dealing with all the animals, he would be perfect at that. And I say that respectfully because he's good at doing it all himself, right? Well, but you have to have those moments that are bonkers out there, or that seem bonkers to people.
Yeah, absolutely. I also just think, like, it's like from doing stand-up comedy, which, you know, I know you know too, it's like you develop a bit of an eye for talent. And that doesn't even mean, like, it's not a question of whether like you agree or disagree or whether they're your favorite comic or not your favorite comic. Like, but you could love really edgy, really filthy comedy, and you'd still go, Nate Bargatze's a beast of a talent. You know what I mean? Like, you just recognize talent. Yes. He's very good at what he does. And Nick's ability, like, just as a broadcaster, his talent is like legendary. I mean, he's second to none. Maybe there are some tied with him, but like Tim Dillon's ability to just rant into a camera, Nick Fuentes has that level of ability. And so there is a part of it too where you watch all of these guys freak out, but you're like, look, man, the kid's really good at what he does. He represents a lot of people. He was deplatformed for having views that actually a lot of people have. And also there's there's nuance to a lot of this shit. I think that being racist.
And where was he deplatformed from? From YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. He was kicked off Twitter. He was kicked off like everything at one point. I'm not sure what he's back on now. Yeah,
but and I don't know a lot of the stuff that he's, I don't know a lot of the things that he said. I mean, I know I've heard him say the N-word. I've heard him say.
He's definitely said that.
Some other stuff, but some of those N-word clips go hard, dude. I'll be honest with you. And some of them I've seen black people
loving them,
do mashups and loving them.
Well, there's always been something weird. There's always been a real weird dynamic about how being offended by words or jokes or words is such a white chick thing, but they project that onto black people. But actually black people, because I've known a few of them, are like the least offended people ever. Like, it's just, so there's a weird dynamic there too. Also though, and I'll say, maybe this will be a real controversial thing to say at the end, but I do think that there's we've lived under a world order for a long time where being a bigot is the worst thing in the world. It's like the worst thing you can be is racist, and part of that is because we live in the world order that defeated the Nazis, and so the biggest villain of all time is viewed as the racist, and the greatest liberator of all time are viewed as the anti-racist, and the biggest villain in the religion of modern America, like the devil is Adolf Hitler and Jesus is Martin Luther King. That's kind of like the way popular, the culture is constructed. I think that there is actually a lot more nuance to bigotry, and that everybody has a bit of bigotry in them. But I think that America, it is true to some degree that Americans have been replaced by immigration policy from their government. America went from being a 90% majority white Christian country to now being, it's like in the 50s%, and may even be a majority minority country in the next couple decades. And then white people might ultimately be a minority in this country going forward.
And the mainstream media demonized white.
Yes,
whites.
This was done against the will of the domestic population. No, there was never a referendum on open borders and massive racial change in America because it would have failed. No, the country wouldn't have supported it. And there is going to be a group of people, not just white people, but there are going to be a group of people who wish that America remain majority white. And that doesn't mean you have to hate black people, or that doesn't mean you have to hate Muslims or hate Latin American or Latino people or whatever. It's like, there's nuance between, there's a view where you go, hey, I want America to remain majority white because that's kind of what America's always been, and I want it to continue being what America's always been. That doesn't mean I want to reinstitute slavery or have a genocide 100%. Or something like that.
And if you're a white person, you're like, well, what the fuck? I don't exist.
Why am I supposed to root for my own destruction?
Yeah, I don't have a place to exist at. Fuck that, dude.
Well, it would be crazy
I'm
to
just so sick of there's just so, it's like, yeah, it's just so sick of white people are always the bad people. I'm sick of your movies of white people are always the bad people. And that's one of the things that's craziest about the genocide stuff. It's like, well, now you have a group of people, you have Israel and their government